In order for the PLC to do what we want it to do, we first need to download the programs we have on the computer to the PLC. In order to do that, we need to connect our computer to the PLC. There are different ways of connecting the computer to the PLC, which we're going to discuss in this lesson. Okay, the most common method to connect the computer to S7 PLCs is to use a connection called the PC adapter. PC adapter has two connectors, a USB and COM. The USB connector gets connected to the USB port on the computer, and the COM connector to the MPI port or the DP on the CPU. When you do this, the connection between the computer and the PLC is established. At some point, we want to use the PC adapter with a USB connector. First, we need to install the PC adapter CD drive on the computer before connecting the PC adapter to the computer. Then we need to restart the computer once so the computer can recognize the PC adapter and connect to it. So whenever we use the PC adapter through a USB connector and see that the computer has a problem connecting to the PLC, one of the reasons would be that the driver for the PC adapter hasn't been installed on the computer. Another method for connecting the computer to the PLC is using PCM-CIA cards. The card is installed on a PCM-CIA slot that's on a laptop. By doing this, we can connect the laptop to the MPI port, DP, or the Ethernet on the CPU. For example, if we install the CP5511 card on the PCM-CIA port of a laptop, we can connect the laptop to the DP port or the MPI port on the CPU using that. Or if we have the CP1512 card, we can connect the laptop to the PLC with an industrial Ethernet, or in other words, Profinet. There's another method to use in order to connect only a desktop computer to the PLC, which means we can't do this to connect a laptop to the PLC. In this method, we need to install a set of specific industrial cards on the computer motherboard to connect the computer to the PLC. There are different kinds of cards we can use, and each of them is for a specific network. For instance, the CP5611 card is used in a Profibus network, so in this case, to connect the computer to a PLC, we first install the CP5611 card on the computer motherboard. Then we use a Profibus cable that has connectors on both its ends, connecting one end to the port that's on the card and the other to the DP port on the CPU. Then we can easily exchange data with the PLC through the computer. If we have a CPU that has an industrial Ethernet port or Profinet on it, like a CPU 315-2 PNDP, we can connect the laptop to the CPU through the LAN port on the laptop with a regular Ethernet cable. Even if our CPU doesn't have an Ethernet port, we can place a CP card that has an Ethernet port on it next to the CPU and connect the computer to the PLC that way. Finally, the last method of connecting the computer to the PLC is to use a somatic field PG. This laptop is made by Siemens, and it's used for industrial purposes. As you can see, all the necessary industrial ports, such as MPI, DP, and Profinet, which are used to connect to the PLC, is on the laptop. This means we can connect to the ports on the CPU directly through these ports. So in this case, we don't need any of the previous connectors like the PC adapter anymore.